On this Veterans Day, just 6 days after the election, veteran candidates saw success in races across the country, especially among independents. In California, Navy veteran Travis Endicott was elected mayor of Ridgecrest. In South Dakota, Army veteran Craig Evanson became the dual county state's attorney. And in Nebraska, independent veteran Dan Osborne gave Republican Deb Fischer a run for her money for the Senate seat, falling short, though, by just a few percentage points. Joining us now, host of the Independent Americans podcast and founder of Iraq and Afghanistan Veterans of America, Paul Rieckhoff. Thank you for your service.
Thank you.
On this Veterans Day especially. What do you make of veterans doing better among independents?
Veterans resonate, and they cross partisan lines, and people are dramatically starved for leadership. And I think most Americans, especially after this last few months, are sick of both parties. They want people who can transcend party, who can show integrity, who can lead strongly. And that's what independents have shown. We had a 36% win rate across the country. We've got two races that have yet to be decided, Nick Batter in Nebraska and Eric Faulkner in California. And this is the first wave. If people want an alternative, not just to the Republicans, but also to the Democratic Party, there are folks who want to run with no party. They want to answer this moment, and they want to lead, and many of them are independent.
I'm thinking about that race against Deb Fischer in Nebraska with Dan Osborne in particular. He was running as an independent, not running within the Democratic Party or the Republican Party. Is there something you think he could have done, just a little bit of something to put him over the edge? Because
Yes.
he clearly resonated.
Yes, stayed farther away from the Democratic Party.
Really?
Yes. I mean, what we saw is his numbers actually started to drop when more liberal groups got involved. And when Deb Fischer started to call him Dan the Democrat, it actually damaged him. So he was very strong, and I think in many ways an example for what the Democrats need to understand. Their brand in many places is trash. And Dan Osborne revealed that, especially in a state that had been really, really red. He can win where Democrats can't.
Why is the brand trash?
I think that's decades of compounded problems with sketchy leadership, bad messaging, a failure to focus on what American people really want. But I don't think it's just the Democrats. I think the Republicans are out of touch, too, and that's why 51% and probably a couple percentages more after this week are independent and unaffiliated. There's not just a need for a third party. There's a need for no party.
Yeah.
And that's what people are really looking for is leadership.
Well, there are so many Americans out there, and I talk to a lot of them, especially younger Americans who feel completely disillusioned, don't want to vote at all. I talked to veterans, actually, while I was in Wisconsin covering the Republican convention. A veteran, one in particular, who told me that she doesn't trust Republicans because they sent her to war. She doesn't trust Democrats because of the terrible withdrawal from Afghanistan, and that, no, she would not vote, and nothing could be done to convince her to vote. So is that your diagnosis, that this is a party problem, that the country definitely needs a third-party alternative?
It's a national party that the two parties are broken and our system is broken. 60% of young people are registering as unaffiliated and politically independent. That is the future, and if the parties come to them, they will win. But if you try to keep dragging them over to you, you're going to lose.
What are you thinking about on this Veterans Day?
There's hundreds and thousands of people outside right now. I had to navigate the traffic to get in here. There's still one day when people can come together as Americans and honor the values that we hold dear, and those veterans and those values are going to be more important in the next couple of months more than ever before.
We're going to have to talk to you about all of that for another time. Paul Rieckhoff, thank you so much. And again, thank you for your service, especially today. We appreciate it.
Thank you for
so happy you made it in.
Thank you.
It was a close call getting you in here with that parade outside.